Thank you everyone for being here for what is a truly extraordinary and historic day in New Zealand sport. From the outset, I would like to acknowledge the distinguished guests joining us today. The Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, Prime Minister of New Zealand, Minister the Honourable Louise Upston, the Honourable Mark Mitchell, and the Honourable Simeon Brown. And I would also like to acknowledge others here today, including Nick Hill, the CEO from Tataki Auckland Unlimited, Nick Sautner, CEO of Eden Park Trust, and Greg Peters, CEO from New Zealand Rugby League. On behalf of the Australian Rugby League Commission and our Chairman, Peter V'landys AM, it gives me considerable delight to announce that State of Origin will come to New Zealand in 2027. This is a truly historic moment for Rugby League, for New Zealand, and indeed for Rugby League in New Zealand. Now, of course, one cannot do something like this on one's own. It takes bold vision, courage, and the right partners to bring a big idea to life. To that end, Prime Minister, I want to thank your government via the Major Events Fund for your boldness in supporting this great initiative. I would also like to thank the Auckland Council for its support and, of course, lending us this iconic ground, Eden Park, for what will undoubtedly be an unforgettable night of football. State of Origin is a cultural phenomenon that is far, far bigger than the two Australian states competing. There are 3 rugby league matches, and now 8 when you include the women's and under-19 competitions, that transcend our sport and transfix the entire Pacific region. It is sporting theatre at its most supreme. Whether you're in Sydney, in Brisbane, Perth, Port Moresby, Suva, or Auckland, come Wednesday night in winter, you are tuning in to Origin. And on that note, if I may, as a Kiwi, born and raised in New Zealand, I would like to get a little parochial. I may be a member of the Australian Rugby League Commission, but I am a fervent advocate for New Zealand and for growing our game here. And for lovers of rugby league, rest assured you have a commission that is as passionate in growing and developing our game as you are in following our game. New Zealand is a key market for us, and we firmly believe that expanding the game here is vital to our code's health and our future. And make no mistake, we are doing that year on year with stunning success. In 2025, we delivered the most watched NRL season in New Zealand history. 13 million viewers across Sky Sport and Sky Open. That's up 11% year on year. At the centre of that growth is the meteoric rise of the New Zealand Warriors. A club that in
Carry on.
A club that in 2020 made an enormous sacrifice by relocating across the Tasman to keep the competition alive. They left their families, they left their fans and their country, and they helped carry our game through one of its toughest and most challenging periods. The rugby league community in both Australia and New Zealand will never forget that. And what we're seeing now is the response. Today, the Warriors have emerged as New Zealand's most supported and most watched domestic franchise in either rugby code. For 3 consecutive seasons, they have sold out virtually every home game. This excitement, however, is not limited to the stadium. On TV, the Wars outperformed their rugby union counterparts by 17%. The sacrifice on the part of the Warriors built connection. Connection built loyalty, and that loyalty has translated into unprecedented support. The Warriors have become a flagship success story for the NRL, but this is bigger than one club. By the end of 2025, 45,000 New Zealanders were playing club rugby league, the highest number ever recorded, and up 29% year on year. Critically, every region in the country grew. 6 set all-time records, and this is not just growth on paper, it is a cultural momentum. Rugby league is a sport rapidly embedding itself in communities across the country. That is why we've appointed Tim Lyth as General Manager of New Zealand Strategy to consolidate this momentum and accelerate it even further. Because what we are seeing is not a temporary spike, it is a shift. And the natural next step in that shift, bringing State of Origin to Auckland and showcasing the greatest spectacle in rugby league to our Kiwi fans. Make no mistake, however, this is about more than one just game. It is about turbocharging the next chapter of rugby league's growth here in New Zealand and across the globe. So I know we've all been waiting a long time for this moment, and while 2027 is still a little way away, the dream we have all had is now real.
Yeah, we'll see.
Eden Park, 2027, New South Wales versus Queensland, State of Origin in Auckland. I cannot wait. I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Well done, my friend. Good job. Good job.
I'll hold it for you.
Oh, you're right. Oh, that's me talking?
I'll hold it.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, it's good.
You're right.
Well, ka nui te mihi, kia koutou, kia ora, good morning everybody. It is great to see you all here. I just want to acknowledge that there are some challenging weather events across the country, and I will actually talk to that later on today at my post-cabinet. But Dr. Weiss, with that cool hair, I just had to protect that from the rain. For me, it's less of a problem, but for you, it's a beautiful head of hair that you have there. Can I just say good morning? Thank you so much for joining us all so bright and early at Eden Park for what I think is an incredibly exciting announcement. It's a real privilege to join you, Dr. Weiss, and also two legends of rugby league. We have Jonathan Thurston and Ryan Hoffman here, and thank you, lads, for being here with us today. It's really very special. Can I also acknowledge Mayor Wayne Brown, our awesome Minister for Tourism and Hospitality, Louise Upston, who's worked so hard on this deal from our side, and also our fantastic Minister for Auckland, Simeon Brown. Nick, can I say thank you for your partnership as well. Nick Saltner, the CEO of Eden Park, is a real go-getter, and we just love the way that we've been able to work with you to reduce the restrictions around Eden Park and also with the council in order to be able to secure an event like this. It's been really very special. We are super excited to be hosting State of Origin here in New Zealand. For many of us, kids like me, we grew up in the 80s and 90s watching some absolutely fantastic battles. We remember those heroes even today, of those great players that we got to watch on TV. And Mum and Dad would let us stay up late and watch it, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we are very excited, and securing a game like this here is a very significant moment for rugby league in New Zealand. It's going to inspire our young players, and it's going to help to grow the game nationally. It's also a huge win for our local economy, and it's going to help put New Zealand on the map as a world-class destination for major events. And major events like this bring huge benefits to our cities, supporting local businesses, creating jobs, and of course strengthening our economy. And that's why our government has had such a big push on to make sure that we attract more major events here and attract more international visitors to our shores. Part of how we do that is through investments like Louise's Major Events Fund, which has had a significant contribution to bringing the event here, alongside funding from the Mayor and Auckland Council. But it's also through making sure that we fix the settings to unlock more opportunities for major events. And as I said before, we've released the restrictions at Eden Park, which make it much easier to host a game like this and more major events like it into the future. Under our new settings, nighttime sports games will be permitted at Eden Park on any day, including Sundays, and existing caps on the number of night games per year will be removed. Eden Park will also be able to host up to 12 large concerts and 20 medium-sized concerts per year without needing resource consent, and that's a total limit of 32 concerts per year, up from the current 12. The common sense changes, they're going to kick in April this year and enable Eden Park to operate like a modern, world-class national stadium and deliver more jobs and economic benefits for Auckland and beyond. But in the meantime, the 2026 NRL season has already kicked off with the NRL All-Stars game held in Hamilton just yesterday and over the weekend, also supported by the government's Major Events Fund. New Zealand, as you know, has a very large and growing rugby league community, and I know there's going to be a lot of very, very excited Kiwis today. Can I say once again thank you to all the partners on this, the NRL and also Auckland Council, and I'll now pass over to Mayor Brown to say a few words as well. Thanks everybody.
Morena tātou. Isn't it great to be back in the heart of sport?
think I'm the only bugger elected here who's played actually out here too. So, but on Saturday night I was a bit pissed off the Blues lost. There you go. If you didn't know before today there was a state of origin coming here, you've probably had a head injury assessment. We've been gathered here to confirm there'll be a state of origin taking place inside this great stadium next year, and I'm really pleased to welcome two greats here, Jonathan Thurston, who I've just managed to cover with brain, and Ryan Hoffman. It's a great sporting city, so it's fantastic that an iconic event like the State of Origin will be here next year. It's the home to rugby league in New Zealand because of the Warriors, and thank you very much, Doctor, for mentioning that. Great speech. It'd be fair to say that traditionally most Kiwis cheer for Queensland rather than New South Wales. Sorry about that. I think you're probably right. If there were repatriation, if they've sent it back as 901s, they'd lose. My grandfather was born in Kilcoy, and so I'm sort of a fifth generation Queenslander myself, and Louise a great mate of mine, and he will beat the shit out of me if I don't have one of his hats on, so sorry about that, but secretly my daughter will be backing you guys. It's taken a long time to make this reality, but Auckland, the city has stepped forward, and we said we wanted this. Our team at Tartaki, Nick, wherever you are, and others have worked really hard. There's two of them at the end there. Those guys have worked really hard to make this happen. And with central government this time, we're working together, and it is going to happen. That's really good. It didn't land on our doorstep, though. Auckland went out and secured this. We were on the back of the Warriors and everything else. We know how to host major events. We know what they bring, which, by the way, is why we'll push the government for a bed night levy until they give up and give it to me, rather than raiding the ratepayers and taxpayers. Major events like this build confidence in our city and create momentum that attracts more investment, more visitors and more opportunities. This match will mean full hotels, busy restaurants and bars, especially where I live in Ponsonby. Thousands of visitors will experience everything our region has to offer, and the city will turn up. We always do. Just look at how often the Warriors fill up their home games. They don't even need to win, they just fill them up. It won't just be locals, footy fans across the country will be flocking here. They'll be broadcast to millions, showcasing our city. We also want planefulls of Queenslanders and New South Welshmen and women coming across the Tasman for this historic event. It's a short flight, no jet lag, world-class city waiting on either side of it. So bring your mates, make a weekend of it, come and experience Origin. And with that, I'd just like to pass over to Brad Walter, who will introduce Jonathan Thurston and Ryan Hoffman, for anybody who doesn't know who they are, which isn't nobody here anyhow. So Brad, where are you? Thanks.
Thanks, that's great. Yeah, hi, if we can just get Jonathan and Ryan to come up, we're just going to do a little bit of a Q&A, and then we'll open it up to the media. Yeah, sorry. Okay, and just to remind everybody of what these two greats of the game have achieved at State of Origin level in particular, Jonathan Thurston, one of the greats of the game and a key member of the Queensland State of Origin team that won 8 series in a row and dominated State of Origin for a long period. Jonathan played 37 consecutive State of Origin games. It's the toughest arena. When you think of that, that's 13 seasons in a row where he didn't miss a game. And your last ever game, Jonathan, was you had a busted shoulder and you kicked the winning goal from the sideline to keep the series alive, and then Queensland won the decider, which I think you watched. You were unable to play. Thanks. Yeah, and Ryan Hoffman played 14 State of Origins for New South Wales.
I wish you would have done me first before Thursday, because 14 doesn't sound great against 37.
through those dark periods for New South Wales, but Ryan was a member of the New South Wales team that ended the drought and put State of Origin back on the even keel that it's been. And it's as said, it's the greatest rivalry in sport in Australia and in the Pacific, and more than 5 million people in Australia watched the deciding game of last year's series, which was won by Queensland. So obviously I've just introduced, as I said, two of the greats of the game, and they've both got a connection to New Zealand. I just wanted to ask you first, Ryan. I'll ask you first, but I'll ask Jonathan as well. Why are you excited about this opportunity to bring State of Origin to New Zealand?
Look, I think State of Origin is the jewel in the rugby league crown. It really is. It's the greatest product or game that our game produces. So it's been a long time coming, to be quite honest, and it's so fantastic. I mean, the support in Auckland, when I was living here for State of Origin, it's as parochial as what I experienced when I was living in New South Wales and being a part of State of Origin there. So on the back of the fantastic job that Cameron George and Andrew Webster have done at the Warriors, to be honest, you walk around Auckland, if the All Blacks aren't in town, all you see are rugby league jerseys. So it's fantastic that congratulations to New Zealand and to New Zealand major events to be able to bring such a fantastic exhibition of rugby league out here, because I think everyone's going to see that this is rugby league at its absolute best.
Yeah, and Jonathan, what do you think of this opportunity to play State of Origin in New Zealand?
Oh, it's a huge opportunity to bring the game over here. Obviously, the Warriors are flying, sold-out stadiums just about every week. So, like Hoffy said, to bring the jewel in the crown here, State of Origin to Auckland. Our game is built on rivalries, and there's no bigger rivalry in the game than this State of Origin. So, to have it over here, I have no doubt that the tickets will sell out in a matter of minutes. They love their rugby league over here. The success of the All-Stars up at Hamilton was great yesterday, and I think the way that rugby league's growing across the Pacific, hopefully we can get more games over here.
Yeah, Jonathan, you just touched on it then about the passion for the people have for State of Origin, but as someone who played 37 State of Origin games, can you just explain what it is that makes State of Origin so special?
Yeah, there's a purpose behind it. It's bigger than yourself. You're representing your state, and that's the rivalry that's been built over many years. And for people that don't know how State of Origin started, all the Queenslanders were going to the New South Wales League, and then before 1980, so all the Queenslanders were playing for New South Wales and flogging Queensland. So that's how it all come about. So that's why it was called State of Origin, where you were born in 1980. The great late Arthur Beetson ran the Queenslanders out, and State of Origin was born, and it's become this beast in the NRL calendar now. And I love everything that it brings to the game. Obviously, to both states. It's a massive rivalry. It's a huge respect between the two states. But when State of Origin's on, for that 80 minutes, no matter what's going on in people's lives, they sit there and they're glued to the TV to watch their state go to battle.
Yeah, Ryan, as Jonathan mentioned, State of Origin was basically built on hate. But you've played more than 300 NRL games for the Melbourne Storm and the New Zealand Warriors, so outside of New South Wales and Queensland. But can you just give us a bit of an insight into why that passion for State of Origin transcends the two states where the game's played, or who play in the game?
Oh, look, I think everyone takes ownership. I think deep down you know who you are and where you're from. And what you want to represent, and even for people in New Zealand, they take ownership of the game as well. And I've heard of families within New Zealand separated by who they go for, Queensland and New South Wales. I mean, my dad played for Queensland, so my dad was a Queenslander, but I never felt an affinity for Queensland. That wasn't where I was from. It wasn't where I grew up. I was a New South Welshman through and through. So even within our family, it was divided. But that just goes to show, like, it is it's literal state of origin. You know where you're from, you know what you're representing, and not only for the players but for the fans as well. They take ownership, they take pride in the states that they belong to, and I think people from outside of those states in Victoria and in New Zealand, they know what they're drawn to, who they feel like they belong to, and I think that's what makes Origin so special. It's a feeling that you have, and that what you represent, and what means so much to you. And for me, it was that blue jersey. For JT, it was the maroon one, and throughout New Zealand and the rest of Australia, they get that same feeling.
Dad's not Māori either.
That's great. We'll just give an opportunity for anyone in the media if you've got any questions for Jonathan or for Ryan. Please ask away.
JT, do you think the Kiwis all understand State of Origin?
100% they do. Everyone that I've spoken to from New Zealand, the first thing they say to me is, "Oh, I love State of Origin." So it's already in the country, the support that both states get, and like I said earlier, sport is built on rivalry. There's no bigger rivalry than State of Origin. You look across the NRL and we've got great rivalries. South and the Roosters, Melbourne, Manly, Broncos, Cowboys. I'd love to see a second team here in New Zealand in the NRL to create that North Island, South Island rivalry, and that's what the game is built on, and that's how we grow the game. There's obviously 17, 18, 19 teams coming up. There's a 20th team hopefully on the horizons, and hopefully it's here in New Zealand as well with the growth of the game.
We're going to wrap it up here, guys. We're going to invite, thank you, Brad, thank you to Jonathan, and thank you to Ryan. How about a round of applause? If I could invite our official party up just for an open Q&A.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me now?